have a feeling I'm not making enough noise. Hi there. Welcome, ladies. Come on in. We'll just have you entertained. This gentleman just commented that maybe people think you have to be a visitor to be here this morning. And in some ways, I think we all are, right? So welcome to Forum. It's good to see you. It's a beautiful day out there. Okay. I'm looking around and I do see some faces I haven't seen here before. So if you haven't attended Forum before and you'd like to be on the Forum mailing list, please let me know. Let one of us know. Phoebe Visitor, Kathy Heavers. We'll give you a card and get you on the email list so you can get that warning once a week that says this is why you really either want to be here or you don't want to be here. I'm laughing. I have all these thoughts running through my head. When Youth Council was here and presented at Forum earlier, one of the things that they talked about was their nonprofit showcase. And they had this amazing group of people showed up at the pavilion and had presentations about their own nonprofit and how people could share with each other. And during all of this, because we had all these attendees and it was really exciting, Gunnison came running over to me and said, Julianne, we need to go to Forum and talk about what we do at the Visitor Center. So Gunnison has the excitement. Okay. Don, I don't know how you put up with him.
He's hard.
So as you can see on the method, Dawn is the guest services coordinator and Gunnison is her assistant. And I, of course, know so much more about Gunnison than I do about Dawn because he and I kind of grew up together. He was volunteering at the Visitor Center when he was still a student in high school. And then after he graduated from high school, he went to work part-time, and now he's worked up his full-time, and I think he might be a keeper. You know, it's been a while. He and I had the privileges of being mayor together. I was mayor of the city of Montrose, and he was mayor of Youth Council. So, Dawn, we feel really good that you came to join us. So, they have the program. You can look around the room and you can see they brought some volunteers with them. So let's see what they have to do. Go for it, guys.
Well, welcome everybody. Yeah, I see there's a lot of familiar faces from a few weeks ago when I was here with the Youth Council. So I'm here with Dawn, and today we just really want to familiarize you with your local resource that is the Visitor Center. And the who, what, where, the why of it, how, that's our department. We are the who, but as far as the what, Dawn, I'll let you pop this question to our audience.
So, first of all, I'm not used to microphones. I'm usually pretty loud, but can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So I want to ask you guys before we get started, what is a visitor center? When you think about a visitor center, what do you think about? Who's the who? What's the why?
Visitors.
Visitors, okay. Any type?
Like
Out of town, okay. Out of town visitors. Anybody else?
Maps.
Maps. Good, Julianne. We have a lot of those, by the way.
Promoting local attractions.
100%. Yes, we do. Anything else? What do you think?
The swag.
Swag, yeah. We all like free things, right?
You just happen to be lucky.
We are all about participation, so you may get a gift if you participate. Now, does anybody want to answer? Anything else? What do you guys think?
Well, you give out postcards. Look, I got some.
I love it. I love it. Yes, we do. For anybody who doesn't know, we have free postcards in our visitor center that we give out to people who come in. And we also mail them out for them for free. And people love that. They think that's really cool. So those are just a few pieces of what the visitor center is and about. So good job. And we're done. But we'll go into it a little bit more, because as Judy had mentioned, a lot of perception is that a visitor center is just for out-of-town visitors. And we're trying to break that mold a little bit and let you know that it's also a resource for our locals too. And we'll tell you more about that.
Exactly. And we will have plenty of opportunities for y'all to get some swag today. We're gonna have a lot of questions and a lot of opportunities for y'all to ask some questions as well. So, what is a visitor center? Donna's already touched on this a little bit, but again, the definition being a facility that provides information and interpretation on a variety of things. Judy's spot on with when it comes to maps. We also have a variety of other things. We have a gift shop in our visitor center, and we'll dive more into that later. One thing that you see here is we have a picture of several different visitor centers here. One of them is our beautiful visitor center, and we'll, in case you don't know where that is yet, we will go through that on the next slide. But one thing you see here is that different entities can manage a visitor center. And for example, top right here, you have the National Park Service. Sometimes you have a local chamber of commerce running those. Ours, who knows how ours is managed?
City.
That's correct.
It's a city office, so. So we are under the city umbrella. We are part of the city's civic campus. And who knows where on that civic campus we are? Who knows where we're located?
Elks, old Elks.
Elks Building, that's right. Just up the street here on Cascade Avenue. So we're right up there on the corner with the Postal Service, the County Courthouse, and the new Rathbone Hotel. So it's a pretty cool street corner to work on, if I'm honest.
We get a lot of compliments when people come into the visitor center about how beautiful our building is. And what I love is the people who travel a lot say this is one of the most beautiful visitor centers they've seen. So I encourage you, those of you who have not been to the visitor center, if you have some time maybe after this today, we're just right down the street. Pop in and come say hi to us and check out our beautiful backdrop that we have. Yes, it used to be the old Elks Building. Who knows what BPOE stands for?
Brotherhood of Fraternal Order of the Elks.
Oh, give this man a gift. That's impressive. We get asked that a lot because it's on the front of the building. So it's nice to be able to share that history with people who come in about how Montrose is really great about preserving our historic buildings, and that this did used to be the old Elks Lodge, and they had great dances and stuff up on the second floor, and how cool that is. So.
You know, we get visitors in sometimes who are part of the Elks Club, and some of them even were part of the club back when the building served that purpose. So they remember the ballroom upstairs and the bowling alley downstairs. And the funny thing is, people who aren't in the Elks Club will tell you that BPOE stands for Protective Order of Elks, the Elks Club. But the people in the Elks Club will tell you it stands for the best people on earth. So that's come up repeatedly. Who knows when that building was built?
Rough guess?
20s?
Profound, yeah.
No.
Our building is almost 100 years old, 1927. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. Now that's a little bit on our building. And Dylan, do you want to talk about some of the amenities that we have over there?
So one of the other great compliments we get about our visitor center, and I know it might be strange to some people, but it's a great honor for us, is we have one of the cleanest bathrooms. So as you may know, on Saturday mornings, we have the farmer's market. And so a lot of our residents know that we have clean restrooms, and they come in and utilize them. So, clean restrooms. Of course, we have the free Wi-Fi, which a lot of guests really appreciate because they come in and sit on our comfy couch that we have in there and check their emails or do something like that real quick. We have a kids corner that we implemented this past year. So a lot of families would come in with their toddlers and they're running all over. So we thought, hey, let's put a little kid corner in with some chairs. You can see it in the back corner and some coloring pages. And then we have a water fountain upstairs and outside. And also the water fountain outside has a place for the dogs to drink some water. So those are just a few of the amenities that we have at the visitor center.
Now, at the Visitor Center, we serve a wide range of people. Those people are from in town, they're from out of town, they're from out of state, and they're from out of the country. So here we have just a few statistics for you to look at. Going downtown and just seeing the Visitor Center building, you might never even guess that we receive this kind of numbers each year. But we routinely receive several thousand out-of-towners, a couple thousand Montrose residents. So that was our year in review last year. We are at 353 visitors in Montrose, from out of Montrose now this year, and that's of about a week ago. Our visitors are now picking up a lot from Memorial Day, and as we keep going into the summer, that number only climbs at a faster rate. So we expect our numbers for this year to be pretty on par with what we're expecting, and we're really excited about it. The range of people that we meet is astounding, especially when you look at the lower half of this slide. I mean, we have Canada, Australia, France, and Germany as our top 4 countries people are visiting here from. And here are some other ones. Some of them, the United Kingdom. You can suspect a lot of travel to the U.S. there, but we get people from places that we would have never expected. You see Turkey, Argentina, Austria. It's amazing talking to these people, and it's part of what makes our job amazing.
So you may be asking, well, this is great, Don and Gunnison. These are awesome numbers. But why is that important to Montrose? So did you know, statistically, and don't quote me though, about 20 to 25% of an international travelers spend 20 to 25% more when they come to the United States, tourists. So that brings money into Montrose, which is really awesome. Right? And so also, something we're really proud of is that we have a great gift shop. Our numbers were down maybe just a little bit this last year because of the bridge, if we all remember the bridge being out. But our sales were up, and so that tells you we have a great resource there. And then if you also notice, we have more residents right now that have come in to see us. Usually in the off-season, our residents will come in for different reasons, and they'll check out the gift shop. And so we're really proud of these numbers. Are there any questions on these numbers? Is there anything that surprises you about them?
I do have to ask, who here has been in the Visitor Center before? Oh, we got like half the crowd that's been in. Awesome.
That's great.
So you all know a little bit about it. We're going to show you a little more behind the scenes. So this is more on what we do.
This is just a quick snapshot. We'll go into some of these more. But overall, in the Visitor Center, this is kind of what we do there. Things that you would already expect, like we give out directions and provide road conditions to people. We have the gift shop. We educate people on leave no trace, if you've heard of that, how to make sure you put your campfires out. We talk to people about that when they come in and just kind of give some education around that. Something we started this past year is to do small community bites. Who in here has maybe seen advertisements for maybe our newcomers tour, our Puppies and Popsicles event? Okay. We're trying to do some more of these community bites to have our residents come in and see the Visitor Center and be more active in the community with you guys. Local businesses promoting. So a lot of our local businesses, we have their flyers and their brochures in our Visitor Center. Of course, back to Judy Ann, we give out lots of maps and brochures. Who knows about the Montrose Bucks program? who maybe has a gift card in their wallet right now. Awesome. So we are the people who you would come and buy them from. We have a great art program that we partner with the Montrose Center for Arts. We'll talk more about that. We give out relocation information. And then, of course, the jewel of the Visitor Center is our ambassador program, something we're very proud of.
Yes, and we have a couple of our ambassadors with us here today, and in a little while, we're gonna let them steal the show. So information and relocation, we've talked about the brochures that we have here, just a few examples. So this is our newest visitor guide, and this new guide, it's a little smaller than we've made before. It's really nice and efficient. We have those in our city map, and these are new. So those local scene, stays, eats, all of those are our lodging, dining, spring, and summer guides, and visitors absolutely love those. So this is a little taste of the local brochures that we give out. We also have a lot of regional brochures for nearby towns and anywhere that people may be looking to go. So 145 people considered relocation last year, and 72 people had relocated to Montrose. So part of the information that we give out is relocation focused, and we do have some specific relocation packets that we can give people or mail them out if they request them. So let you build on that.
So if you have a friend who's going to move to town, or if you're looking for your grandbabies to get closer to you, you can come into the Visitor Center, pick out some information, and we will send it to them on your behalf. We will send them the relocation information. So lots of people do come in. Montrose is a beautiful place. You guys probably have figured that out. And there are people looking to come here. So for our residents, it's a great resource, because if you have friends that are interested, again, just either have them come by or you come in yourself, and again, we'll send them information about Montrose. So.
And how many of everybody here relocated here from somewhere else? And don't feel bad about this, because Don and I both came here from somewhere else. So, awesome. Well, it's a great place to move to. I was in Idaho before this, and this place is much more than I even could have imagined. And half the joy in that is telling other people about our place. Somebody talk about the gift shop. Don, do you want to talk more about our awesome little store?
So who's purchased something from our gift shop? Okay, awesome. I would say probably my number one person who comes in and buys stuff from the gift shop is actually Terry Wilcox in our HR department. She comes in because when she goes to see her family, she comes in and buys a whole bunch of stuff and provides it to them, and I really appreciate that. I think that's really cool. So thank you to all of you who've come in and purchased things in our gift shop. We are constantly trying to refresh and bring new things in, so if you ever have any ideas, let us know.
So Dylan, what exactly do we sell? And real quick, does the audience here, does anybody out there know what we sell?
Yeah, what do we sell?
T-shirts.
Perfect, okay. What else do you think we guys sell? For those of you who've already purchased things. Hats, okay. The picture's kind of a giveaway, right? Okay. Who knows what our number one selling item is in our gift shop?
Coffee.
Coffee? No, but almost. Stickers. Stickers is our number one best-selling thing in most visitor centers. It's stickers because it's a small thing to take back, right? But yes, we have hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, local goods, posters, postcards, tumblers, jewelry, lots of really cool things in the visitor center that we sell.
Yes, so those local goods, there are a lot of those, and they're sourced from a lot of different local businesses. And when we talk about the local business promotion, we looked at that on the previous slide there. This is one of the ways that we can help support them by giving them a place where they can sell. And some of these places aren't a brick and mortar location. So by doing this, we give them a brick and mortar place to be able to do that. So here are just a few places that we source our gifts from.
Who's ever been out to Ray's Jerky? Who's met Ray? I just want him in the visitor center. He is a character in and of himself. He is an awesome, really cool dude. But yes, these are only a few of the places we source, and they are all local products. And it's something that we're proud of having in the visitor center, because we showcase just a small sampling of what they have. So when people come in and they're like, ooh, this jerky's so great, I talk about Ray, and I say, hey, go down and see him. He's got all these other great things in his shop, right? So that's how we can help support our local businesses, is by just offering the sampling and then telling them more about it and encouraging them to go to those businesses and meet those people and do more shopping.
For the next question, do we have sales? I'm going to spoil that. Yes, we do. But does anybody know when they happen?
Who doesn't like a good sale, right? Right?
We have one sale per quarter. So we have one coming up in a little while. You'll see ads for that before too long.
Yeah, we have one at the end of June. So, and you'll see those advertisements in the paper or on social media. And again, this is a great resource for our locals to come in and get and buy gifts for the kids or family members, or whatever that may be.
So any questions about our gift shop or anything that you noticed that you liked? Perfect. All right. Well, sometimes we'll take our parts of our gift shop and visitor center and we'll pack them up and head down the road to an event. So we participate in a lot of local community events throughout the year. How many of you all have been to Funk Fest or Fun on the Uncompahgre?
Okay, yes, that's good.
How
Who
many of
ran in
y'all-
the mutter? Did anybody run in the mutter here? No? Okay.
These are just a couple of the events
Okay.
that we go out and participate in the community. So the Mutter, that was just a couple weeks ago. We had a booth set up down there for much of the day. Funk Fest is kind of our big one. That's our big event where we kind of take the whole visitor center and pack it down to the River Bottom Park. But we've been involved in these for a little while now, especially Funk Fest. These just provide a fun, different way to interact more with our community. People from out of town come and attend these events as well, but these events more than anything are a great way to connect with our locals. So.
And we usually try to have an information booth or just a place for you to come and once again buy, some kind of t-shirt or something. And then ask any questions. Maybe you have a friend with you who's from out of town. And so we're there as a resource for all of you and those that are attending the events. And it's also nice for us to get out of our beautiful visitor center and be a part of the community with you. So.
Another thing we'll help with is the holiday events. How many of you all have been to the tree lighting?
Yeah, we were honored to be for it to be at the visitor center this year, and I thought that was really pretty cool.
Yeah. How many of you all have been to the Parade of Lights? Awesome. And what about the 4th of July parade?
All right.
How many of y'all have sent the letter to Santa at one point?
Oh, come on!
Well, these are all things that we are involved with and help out with. We help check Santa's mailbox at Santa's cabin throughout the holiday season. We provide help to events however we can in all of these events throughout the year.
Yeah, our ambassadors are Santa's helpers. And so when Santa gets a little behind on responding to letters, sometimes our ambassadors will help out a little bit with that. And that's really a joy to read. Some of those letters are really cool and really kind of special. And so, and then again, we help behind the scenes on a lot of these things also. We partner with our amazing special events team. And so we help out with different pieces and parts of these things. So.
Awesome. Now we'll get you all to look at some of the specifics on those community bites. So if you were downtown, maybe heading to farmer's market or saw about it in the paper a week or two ago, you might have seen the puppies and popsicles event downtown by the side of the visitor center. This is our ad from last year when we had it in June, but we just had that event again. That's a collaboration with the animal shelter.
So I started in my position at the Visitor Center 2 years ago, but I've been with the city for about 4 years now. And when I came into the Visitor Center, again, I wanted it to be a place for residents to be able to come to and be more of a community support. So I thought, Gunnison and I talked about it, and we were like, let's do these community bites, if you will. We're not a special events team, but let's do these fun little events to get people to come to the Visitor Center and also support our community. So the Paws and Popsicles happens once a year. It's a collaboration partnership with the animal shelter, and it's an adoption and education event. And so the animal shelter brings kitties this year and dogs that need adopted. And then we also invite MAPA and Second Chance and the Bullies Club. And we invite all of these other wonderful in our therapy group, Morning Star, to come and educate people on all things animals, and also provide support to the animal shelter. Last year, I think if I remember correctly, they brought 9 dogs and we adopted out 7 dogs. So it was really a successful event. And during that time, we also give out popsicles and popcorn and just a way to really be a part of the community. Anybody know this local author right here? Mr. McKee? Mr. Micah McKee. He's written 3 books now. They're local guided trail books. And we have them in the Visitor Center. And so we did a book signing. We had people come and meet him, ask him questions, and he did signing of the books. And it was really a fun event. We did that last year and this year. Last year we did some Montrose trail treks. One of our great ambassadors, Bob, is here today. He is a master of all the trails here in Montrose. And last year we tried to invite people to come and join Bob and Gunnison and go on some of these trails. We're going to try it again at some point and see how we do.
I'll just say we had a fun and successful hike down near Silverjack last kind of late summer, and we built some nice friendships out of that. And one of the people that came along on our hike, she's volunteering at the Visitor Center now. So really fun stuff like that, little things like that make those special.
And then our city tour, last year it used to be called the Newcomers Tour. And again, we realized that people thought that meant you had to be a newcomer to go on this tour. Well, that's not the case, because as Junianne said, we're all still learning where we live. So we call it the Free City Tour now, and that's a collaboration with the city manager's office. Basically, we invite people to join the tour. That's free. They go around for a 2-hour tour. Gunnison usually drives the van, and they give you information that you may or may not have known about Montrose. So if you see that coming up again, we'll probably have one this summer or fall. Feel free to sign up for it. You'll again see information in the paper and or on social media about that. But these are all resources, as you can tell, that are more guided to our residents. Again, making the Visitor Center a place not just for visitors, but for you guys also. Any questions on any of these? Will I see you guys all on the next city tour? I can sign you guys all up today if you'd like.
A few other events too. I was able to run a booth over at the Great Outdoors Expo at the fairgrounds recently. Just getting more out in the community and going to an event that's more niche, kind of in our niche, in the outdoors and recreation. Just a place where we could provide really relevant information to people. And then I'll let Dawn talk about what we're doing at the Ute Indian Museum soon.
Yeah, I think it's in 2 weeks or so. The Ute
June
Indian.
7th.
Thank you. June 7th, the Ute Indian Museum is doing their Community Appreciation Day. And so I've reached out to the director, CJ, over there, and we will be helping with that, and then also probably having an information booth again there. So again, these are just ways that we're getting out in the community and trying to be there as more of a support for where people have questions or need directions or just need some free swag. Any questions on any of the events or what we do with any and all of that? Okay.
All right. Moving on local business support. So first and foremost, by far, our biggest business support program that we help with is the Montrose Bucks program. And so you all were saying, some of you all have purchased Montrose Bucks cards, some of you all might have some now. That program's been going on for a long time. Who remembers when it was called Mama Bucks? Oh yeah, that's the same thing, same program, just as a gift card now as opposed to back when it was a check. But that program, we have somewhere around 80 to 100 businesses signed up for this, and that includes a lot of our businesses downtown, as well as small businesses kind of scattered throughout the community, and you can use it at some of the bigger stores as well. So we have our yearly promotion for that in November, where you can get additional 20% to your card. Spend 100, get 120. So, but that's our biggest kind of support program for Montrose, or sorry, for businesses here is Montrose Bucks.
And so for those of you who don't know, there's a fund, which money goes into the fund, and that sale at the end of the year. We usually have about 15,000, I think, in that fund, and that's the money for that promotion. So again, it's a way of putting money back into the community and supporting those local businesses. And what's really neat about the Montrose Bucks program is that all that money does stay in Montrose. So even if maybe you went and shopped at National Grocers, and that's a chain store, you can only use it at that specific store, right? Or the Walmart here in town, you can only use it at that store. So it's a nice way to keep the funds in Montrose. And being when the businesses are a part of the Montrose Bucks program, we have basically free marketing in that we list their business on the website for participating businesses. And who doesn't love free marketing? Who doesn't love free things? So that's a pretty cool thing.
And then next up here, not exactly a business, but an educational institution, the one that we're at right now. We actually work a little bit with supporting CMU Montrose. Now, the city has a great partnership with CMU, especially through Western Colorado Law Enforcement Academy, but we, over at the Visitor Center, have a little bit of collaboration as well. So we have a little exhibit there, we have a display, we have Nav, the mascot, we have a little plushie, and some banners, but really the idea there is just to educate people about the possibilities here at CMU Montrose and use that as kind of a launch point to tell them about the campus. Every once in a while you get someone moving here who is curious about that and about an educational opportunity. And so making them aware that we have a range of good programs here with the university, people appreciate that. We appreciated working with the staff here to collaborate more with them. Other local businesses, how else do we support them? Dawn talked a little bit earlier about how we have brochures for the businesses. If you happen to own a business, you can walk in and drop something off, and we'll be happy to hand them out for you. We have a lot of business cards in there, little brochures. Listings on the website too. We'll talk about our website soon, but you can go and email us, and if you give us your business information, we can enter a business listing for you on our Visit Montrose website. So that's a comprehensive local listing, and also really gets visitors in tune with the sorts of businesses that they can check out when they're visiting town.
What's your favorite restaurant? Easy question. What's your favorite restaurant?
Camp Rock.
Yes. Favorite restaurant? Stonehouse. Ooh, Stonehouse, that's a good one. Favorite restaurant? What?
Camp Robert.
Camp Robert?
You're
Hero?
Hero.
Okay, that's a good one, yeah. Sir, what's your favorite restaurant? Stonehouse, okay. So that is what we do. That's a big part of what we do. When people come in and they're like, hey, where should I go eat? We all have our favorites, and we can really speak to them, right? And so that's what we do. We tell people, hey, these are our top 5. We have a great brochure that we give out also. And the same with hikes The same with our museums and all of that. Word of mouth, that's why a lot of people come into the visitor center, is because they want people who are experts to tell them where the best places to go are. So, and we'll make sure to share your guys' favorites too.
And when it comes to that sort of thing, we love catering to our guests. So one thing we always ask is, if they're interested in dining in town or looking for somewhere for dinner, we ask them, what kind of food are you looking for? What kind of dining environment? Usually they'll say if they need accommodations for a dog or something like that. So we'll just grab our dining brochure and say, here are the circled ones that would work best for you. And we're always welcoming new restaurants here. It's awesome. So let's talk about our website. And I have this button here. Let's go ahead and click that, see where that takes us.
Who's ever been on our website? Okay. Any of you guys? Okay, I will, I love that, I love it, yeah.
So this is visitmontrose.com. We have a lot going on the homepage here. We have some of the main attractions in town. We have a little social media feed here. Here are some photos from the area, some local event advertisements, and then Meet Montrose. This is our little introduction to Montrose for anyone who's looking online, looking to visit here. A few more attractions here. And then up at the top here, you can go to stay for anyone who needs lodging, play for anyone looking for the variety of outdoor recreation opportunities we have here, dine for those restaurant listings and so on, and events. We'll get to that events page here in just a minute. But first of all, I have to ask, on the play tab here, what's everyone's favorite activity in or around town? As far as things to do, well, if you were in the visitor center, if you were helping out a guest, what's the first thing you would tell them to go do, based on your experience?
Fly fish.
Fly fish.
I need to know your secret spot later, okay?
Okay.
Black Canyon.
Black
Black
Canyon,
Canyon.
exactly. Anything else?
Museums.
The museums.
Museums.
Mhm. We have 4 great museums in town.
Rec center.
The rec center, yes. I always tell people, I know it may be strange because you're visiting for the weekend, but stop in our visitor center. It's an award-winning visitor center. We're very proud of it. And then let them also know that Grand Junction modeled their, if I'm correct, is modeling their new rec center after ours. So that's something we're very proud of, right? You all are hired. You guys can start tomorrow, okay?
Let's talk about our events page. Hold on a second. So visit montrose.com/events. Excuse me. And I have a little button again. If I click that, where will that take us? Takes us to our events calendar. The events calendar here shows one-time events, it shows ongoing events, and we have a lot of people that contribute to that. Who here has been to the Magic Circle Players? It's awesome, isn't it? Magic Circle Players, they routinely put their things up on our calendar. We have Into the Woods going on right now. Billy Goat Hop Farm, that's a newer business. They're contributing. We always try to get our new businesses signing up there if they have any events going on to promote them on there. Because this is another one of those kind of forms of free advertising for them. To get an event up here, especially once it gets toward the top of the calendar, it's a lot of nice free publicity for them. And these events can really help get them started up.
So if you know of a business owner who maybe is having a cool event, you can tell them, come by the visitor center. They have a website they can put your information on. We can even put the business on the website if they're, an outdoor outfitter or something like that.
Now, if you ever want to submit an event, if you run a community organization or a business or are hosting something, submitting your event to our calendar is easy. So the orange button right here lets you submit your event. And from there, you'll just need to give basic contact info and event info, and your event can be up there within minutes, hours of being submitted. So
Any questions about the website?
You guys do that in-house? You have a web?
So it's kind of an all-around collaboration, and on it, and as of right now, Visit Montrose is getting a facelift, if I remember correctly. And so it'll maybe look a little different and feel a little different. It's going on to a different platform that's a little more user-friendly. But we do have staff in-house that work on it. Gunnison and I can go in and edit and change things on it. And then we have marketing groups that are contractors that help work on it also. Any other questions about the website? Great question, by the way. Okay.
Perfect. We're going to move into a little bit of a different area here and some of the education that we provide our guests. So, you know, there are a lot of beautiful places in Montrose, in Montrose, but generally in Colorado, that are beautiful, incredible places. But I think we all know and probably have seen some of the impacts that heavy tourism can do to an area if not everyone out there is following these principles. That would seem to be the case with, of course, Blue Lakes. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar. That's going to go to a permit system. That's partly because of impact. And so part of what we want to do is help visitors to reduce their impact. And part of that is through Leave No Trace. That's the biggest one. Pack it in, pack it out, things like that. Also letting them know about the essentials that they need to have for hiking, how they need to be prepared for road conditions. We point them to Co-Trip here. How many of y'all have been on that site? It is a lifesaver. If you all need to travel through Colorado, especially in the winter time, you can check your whole route and the conditions up to the minute. So we tell people all about that, especially if they're looking to travel the $1 million highway. We give them a little heads up. So we love pointing them to that. And then also Do Colorado Right. This is a state tourism program, and we have a little link to their page here. And they're just focused on stewardship, specifically about Colorado State. And so that's somewhere that's a site and program here that every visitor center in the state can point to, and we're working more on that, working with them.
If you have more questions or want more information, come in and see Gunnison and I at the Visitor Center, and or go to the Colorado.com, Do Colorado Right page, and they have a whole bunch of videos and information on there. If you're curious about what are the best ways to put a campfire out, what do I do with my trash and things like that. It's a great page and a great resource.
Do you want to play a video real quick?
You guys want to see a little video?
30
Yeah?
seconds.
I didn't bring the popcorn, sorry. Next time.
I think I got the volume right.
I'm Nelson Howell, hiking enthusiast. Here's how I do Colorado Right. 1, always stay on the trail. And if I see a puddle, I become one with it. 2, take your selfies on the trail. Huh? Never look better. 3, find a new trail. Ooh, this one looks hot. That's how you do Colorado Right.
So we talked about the Co-Trip app. He just showed another app, Co-Trex, and that's the Colorado State, the whole trails system map. How many of y'all have been on there? Awesome. Well, that one's awesome. Even if you don't go out of town a lot to hike, it includes some of our in-town trails, and it has info on that, and their database on that is incredible. We have some promotional information on Co-Trex in our visitor center, and we love pointing people to that.
The state of Colorado, our Colorado Tourism Group, they do a great job. If you just need a good couple of laughs, go on to this page and watch some of these videos. As you saw this one, they're pretty funny, but they get the message across, right? One of their other big programs that they started just recently is Do Colorado Right, and that's in regards to restroom, how to use the restroom out in the public spaces, right? But they did it in a really funny, fun way to get the point across on something that cannot be such a great topic to talk about sometimes. So I would definitely encourage you guys to look that up, because I had I watched a whole presentation about it. It was really comical, and they did a great job with it. So, but a big part of our job is, again, educating people when they come into the visitor center about, oh, you're going camping. Do you have a sleeping bag? Oh, you want to take your Prius over Keebler Pass in the wintertime. Do you have a sleeping bag? It's things like that, right? Where we want to educate our people and keep them safe, but also protect the assets that Montrose has, right?
They want to take a Prius over Keebler Pass in the wintertime. Not sure about the sleeping bag. I would just ask them, do you have an alternative option?
And that did happen, by the way.
But people are just unaware of the conditions out there, and that's not any fault of theirs. And just really, we're just thankful that they come to us to look for that information. And really, I mean, any of us, we go to a new place. We're not quite educated on what's going on, and like we go to, let's say, I went to a town in Europe. For all I know, they handle road closures differently and things like that. You don't know when you come to a new place. So that's part of why this sort of thing is so important. When people know what they didn't know before, they're a whole lot more equipped to stay safe out there, especially in the outdoors. It can help even with survival. So
I think the number one question I get a lot in the visitor center is people going down to Uray, and they want to know about the $1 Million Highway and if they can drive it or not. And I always say, do you like heights? And if they do, I'm like, you're gonna love it then. And if they don't, I say, just take it slow. You'll be just fine. But a lot of people have a lot of questions about that highway. It's kind of fun. So.
shifting gears.
The art program. So who knows that the Montrose Center for Arts moved to a new location? And what a beautiful location that is, right? I was there for their grand opening, and I was just so excited for them. So we partner with them. This is, again, a way we support local artists. So they have an art program, and it's a partnership not just between us and them, but it's also with other local businesses, that artists will sign up for space at these different businesses. And those artists then will put up beautiful artwork in those places. And so at the Visitor Center, we have space designated for local artists to come in and put their artwork up, and it is for sale. And so that's a way of us not only getting to see beautiful artwork in the Visitor Center and enhancing the beauty of our Visitor Center, but also promoting and supporting our local artists.
I'm going to kind of roll through the last part of the presentation here. We want to allow you all a little bit of time in case you have some questions. The art program is awesome, work with the Center for the Arts. We have another program we'll talk about here, the Ambassador program. So Nikki and Julie, if you all would like to come up, we're going to work with you all on talking about this, because these are a couple of our current ambassadors. Julie and Nikki, they've both been with us for a little over a year at this point. Julie, you kind of frequent the forum, so how's it feel to be on the other side of the mic?
Oh, it's scary. My IQ drops about 25 points when you put that microphone on my face.
No, Julie's sharp all the time. And then, yeah, if you all want to talk a little bit about the program and how you came into it. I started, as Judy said earlier, I started as a volunteer, became an employee, so I was once part of this program. But Don and I have kind of worked a little bit on revamping it, really trying to make it stronger. We currently have a staff of about 15 volunteers. So do you two want to talk about that just a little bit? Answer questions anybody has?
I'm Nikki Zawaska, and I've moved to Montrose. I'm a transplant 37 years ago and never looked back. The thing that appeals to me of living in Montrose is the logo up there for the city, stay here and play everywhere. So I think you can tell from the position of the Visitor Center that we have a lot to offer, and we also interact with many different people that visit us. So the two things I enjoy the most is trying to, of course, answer questions for people that are scouting out Montrose. So I'm here only for the weekend, what can I cram into it? Well, that gets to be a very hard selection to narrow it down to a weekend. But just trying to find out what people are interested in and what brought them here. The second thing is everybody has a story, and that's what I like to engage in. Why are you curious about checking out Montrose? Oh, you got family here. And just engage them in their why, because stories are amazing, and these people love to share their story. So when someone comes in from Australia, you think, that's a long ways away. What brought you to Montrose? And the deeper you dig, you realize that they're staying here because they want to play here. And so what can we do to brag and boast about our community and our surrounding activities? That's my take on it. And I've been, since October of 23, an ambassador, and it's just been a wonderful experience. Delightful people to work with. And what better way to brag about your community that you love?
Yeah, I joined the ambassadors because we've lived here since 1979. I thought, I know a lot about Montrose. But every week that I volunteer, I find out a lot that I don't know. So it's very humbling, but it's very fun. And the people that come in are so interesting. The couple from the Netherlands, the family from Austria, it's just very fun to engage with them. And also, there's some caution. Don referred to, I had a woman come in this winter, where is Creed and should I go there? And so I took her to the map to show her, where Creed is. And I said, are you comfortable on snowy mountain roads in the winter? Total silence. And I said, they have a wonderful program in the summer. The theater group comes in and does operas. And I said, and I don't try to make that decision for her, but I could tell that the information of where Creed was and the roads to get there, and that's where that co-trip is really important to refer to. The other thing I'd say, we have excellent support from Dawn, Gunnison, and Google. I had one woman come in, or a telephone call, and she said, I know the square dancers meet on Tuesday, but who runs that? I don't know, deer in the headlights. So, you Google square dance in Montrose, and that pops the information that I was able to share with her. So anyway, but yeah, Don and Gunnison are fabulous supports.
We're in the staff position, and we're always learning too.
Yes,
Like, there's
absolutely.
always something new to find out about Montrose. I didn't know about the Square Dance Club either, so.
Black Canyon Blues, that's me.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of why we love having you all around, is you all are out in the community and you find information that we didn't know about, and it's all just very back and forth. Like, you all learn stuff from us and we learn stuff from you. And that's awesome. It's a great relationship. Here's some of the responsibilities, some of the things that they work on. So Julie was talking about kind of planning out activities and trips for people, helping them with that. And then really just a whole variety of other things. Kind of depends on what we need help with on any given day.
The most important thing is to have fun. And so our ambassadors, they bring fun to the visitor center, and we hopefully keep it as a fun environment for them. When I started, we had 5 volunteers, and actually officially we have 21 volunteers, but 15 very active volunteers. And I'm proud that we haven't lost any of them, and I think it's because we try to keep it a fun place to be. And we appreciate them so much, so thank you so much to our ambassadors.
Some of the benefits of the program, just kind of the relationships that you get out of it, friendships here. I mean, so many of our volunteers that know each other now just knew nothing about each other before then. And just seeing those people grow together so quickly is awesome. Yeah, some fun events that they can get entrance to, discount on visitor center items, meeting new people like Julie was talking about. Anybody pass a background check at any age can participate. I started when I was 15. Like Judy mentioned, I was homeschooled, so I had some time. And yeah, any level of local knowledge. You can be a newcomer, or you can have lived here as long as Julie and Mickey has. So yeah. Any other questions for us? Any thoughts or comments?
Got to really quick.
Yes.
I'm aware that several years ago you had a garden out front, and I was sad to see it go. I have my ideas of why it went, but do you want to share on why that's gone?
Was it planners?
Yeah.
Kind of out on the rim?
I don't know, because again, I started here 2 years ago, and when I started, they weren't there. I imagine COVID may have had something to do with that, and I'll look into it. Because if that was something that people found of value, then maybe it's something we need to bring back then. I know we have planter boxes with flowers out front, but I'll look into it and let you know, or you come in and let me know.
I volunteered several years back for a stint, and I was amazed at the number of phone calls that you get. And you didn't address that. Do you still get a lot of phone calls, or are inquiries primarily on a computer?
We get inquiries on the phone, but it's not as much as it used to be, because I think it's now the age of internet, and people can find a lot of the answers through that. But we also do get inquiries through the internet. We have an email that those questions come through, and it's a lot about, can you send us your visitor guide and send us information because we're coming to visit. Phone calls we get are from people who can't find that information. And so I always say it's good job security for us. And so, but probably not as much as when you were there, I would say.
So thank you both very much. This was very informative and it was beautiful. And I wanted to make the comment when you showed your homepage for your website, it's the Black Canyon picture. That's what you see when you walk in the visitor center. If you walk in the visitor center, look at the walls. We have a tendency not to. We look at the sweatshirts and the stuff, but that is one huge picture of the Black Canyon that was put on those walls. So thank you very much for sharing all of that with us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. And now we need to find out about next week.
So, you